Hello everyone, Vampire218 here, bringing you a draft Pokemon analysis video. In this video, I will be looking over what I think are 5 of the best picks within RU and NU for the Draft League format for Pokemon. I've looked around on YouTube for quite a while trying to find other videos like this, and I've had really no results. No videos instructing me as to which Mons within specific Smogon tiers really are the best value for your pick. So this video is going to try and emulate that. This video is going to be assuming the standard OU rule set, no baton passing, no evasion, no swagger, and just the basic OU rule set. So to start things off, and these are in no specific order, but the first Mon that I think is really overlooked in the Smogon tiers for the draft format is Diancie. Now, looking at Diancie's stats, its speed and its HP are really not that good. At 50 each, it's not generally going to hit first, and its health could definitely use some help. But what it lacks in health, it makes up for so much in defense and special defense. At both being at 150, it can make quite a tanky Mon. Having the Fairy Rock typing is really good for it, as it supports its defensive core. As you'll see, its only weaknesses are Grass, Ground, and Water, and it's very weak to Steel. However, it does have 5 resistances and 1 immunity. Its attack and special attack being 100 mean that it can actually get kills on its own. However, I really like using Diancie as more of a tanky support. It gets moves like Calm Mind, which lets you passively special defensive tank while becoming a special offensive threat. It gets good coverage moves such as Earth Power, Diamond Storm, Dazzling Gleam. It gets good utility moves like Gravity. It gets moves like Iron Defense to make it defensive on the defensive side. It gets Psych Up to come in if your opponent wants to start setting up. It gets moves like Sharpen. It gets moves like Stealth Rock, meaning it can set hazards. And it gets things like Wonder Room and Trick Room, which means that you can use it to set up some shenanigans if you have a slow team. Overall, I think Diancie is one of the best RU/PU tanks / good utility Mons. It's got great typings, it has a wonderful defense and special defensive stat, and is definitely a Mon that you should consider for your team. The next 2 Mons I put as 2 because they both fit a specific team type based on their ability. And you'll see that they are Ninetales and Politoed. The reason I have these 2 Mons here are because they get the ability Drought and Drizzle, which both summon a Sunny Day or Rain Dance ability. Now, their stats are not the best in the world. They're about average for what you would expect in an NU/PU Mon. However, having this ability, combined with the fact that you could also make it immune to water or immune to fire, depending on which Mon you choose, means that it is a very good Mon if you want to build a rain team or a sun team. Now, they both get relatively good coverage moves and pretty good support moves, and different moves like that, like Perish Song on Politoed, and things like Roleplay to get rid of your ability once you've already gotten that, Sunny Day Off on Ninetales. They're both really good Mons to set up a specific type of team, and they require you to draft around them, though, to be fully useful. If you want to make a very strong Sun or Rain team, these Mons are key. Down to number 3, I have Rideon. Now, looking at its stats, 45, 45, and 40 in special attack, defense, and speed are really something to be left to the imagination. However, it makes up for that in its amazing attack, defense, and HP. Being a ground rock type means it does have 4 weaknesses and 2 quad weaknesses. However, it has a good amount of resistances. It strongly resists poison and is immune to electric, which means this is a good switch-in if they are bringing a Pokemon like Galvantula or are bringing a Mon that you expect to Volt Switch. In addition, Rideon can run Evolite, which means that 120 defense is suddenly the equivalent of 180. And that 45 special defense suddenly becomes closer to 60. It's got great power too with its moves. It gets an ice moves, it gets ground moves, fighting moves. It's a good defensive mon that you can also have do heavy damage. If you have that NU/PU slot open, I suggest getting Rideon for that tanky role. Steelix. Now, Steelix is one of those mons you see, slow. It's all of its stats except for defense are somewhat subpar. But it's that defense that you're going for. Combining it with sturdy, it becomes one of the strongest defensive tanks in the game. Its typing means that it has 7 resistances, is only weak to 4 moves, has 2 immunities, and 1 strong resist, which is really good for a defensive tank. Going down to its moveset, you see that it gets good coverage as well as good utility. Being able to set up stealth rocks, being able to get coverage moves like Thunder Fang and Ice Fang, allow it, as well as Fire Fang, allow it to trade with similar steel types, flying types, water types. It gets great coverage. And its speed may be an issue, but when you use a Gyro Ball, its speed suddenly becomes one of its best strengths. Steelix is, in my opinion, if you put a Rocky Helmet on it, one of the best switch-ins to physical mons, as its resistances are just so strong. And the last mon in the NU/PU that I think is of note to be drafted is Ditto. And you'll look at Ditto and you'll see, its stats are garbage. However, the one saving grace that Ditto has is this ability called Imposter. Imposter means when you switch it in, it changes into the Pokemon your opponent has. It copies all stat changes and anything like that. Now, there are some downsides to running Ditto. Mainly, you do not copy their HP, which means that you are going to need to be putting all of your EV investments into HP. Also, you will need to run a good item. I highly suggest using a Choice Scarf because despite the fact that you can only use 1 move, it will guarantee you win a speed tie because you will now be double the speed of whatever your opponent brings. Ditto allows you to scout what their movesets are. Ditto also allows you to create PP stalls. Having a good core, letting you bring out a mon like Ditto, you can get into Pokemon that naturally heal, like Blissey. You can get into one of their strongest sweepers and sweep them because you will be faster. Ditto is just one of the strongest utility-based mons in the format, in the NU/PU tier, that can also be used as a tank if you copy something with a high defense or special defensive stat. It can heal if you copy a mon that can do that. It's just such a good Pokemon that for the tier it's in, you may as well pick it up if you can. I've been Vampire218, bringing you what I think are 5 of the best NU/PU Pokemon for the Draft League format. If you liked the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Pokemon Draft content. Bye!